Like, I understand frustration because, like, people believe that.
What if I told you ESPN just made a major mistake? Not in their coverage of Semester's big game, but in totally overlooking Angel Reese after one of the best performances this season? And it's not just about her iconic red nails. Fans are furious, and not just a little, this is a full-blown meltdown. The question is, did ESPN snub Angel Reese on purpose, or is this just another case of media memory loss? Either way, it's time to dive into the chaos. So let's break this down. Angel Reese on fire with 20-plus points, 20-plus rebounds, an absolute monster of a performance, and yet ESPN? Asterisk crickets. Fans are asterisk livid. They're wondering, did ESPN seriously just pretend this didn't happen? Or is there something deeper at play here? Reese's performance should have been front and center, but nope. Instead, it's like the network was too busy figuring out how to make another LeBron segment. But hold up, this isn't just a little oversight. Reese's fans aren't letting this go. Enter the Angel Army. Yes, I'm calling them that because it fits perfectly. Her fans have entered full ride or die mode. Some of them are even demanding ESPN air a 30-minute special on her every time she breathes. No joke, these fans want sort of a red carpet, parades, and for ESPN to change the name on SportsCenter * Angel Center. After every game, it's a full-blown online frenzy. They won't stop until she gets the spotlight she deserves, now and always. But here's the thing, let's take a closer look at why Angel Reese's fans are acting this way. It's not just about her playing well, it's about the constant disregard she faces from the media. We're not talking about one single game where a player doesn't get the recognition they deserve. This is a asterisk pattern. Women's sports in general have been on the back burner for years. And Angel Reese, despite all her talent, is no stranger to being overlooked. Sure, she's had amazing performances, but have you seen the coverage? Crickets. Reese can be dropping double-doubles left and right, but if you check ESPN social media, you'll see a complete absence of her stats. Is it a conspiracy? Or is it just the way women's sports have historically been treated? Let's get real. We're all aware of ESPN's tendency to cover the same few faces over and over again. LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and now, of course, Caitlin Clark, those names dominate the airwaves. And it's not necessarily wrong to cover the biggest stars, but when do we start asking the hard questions? When does ESPN decide that Angel Reese's time has come? Her fans believe it's time, and they're not just asking for it, they're demanding it. And you know what? The level of passion they have is almost impressive. We've seen a lot of fandoms fight for their favorite athletes, but Reese's fan base is a different breed. They've gone full Angel Reese or nothing. Now let's talk about what happens when Angel Reese does get recognized. Every time she gets a solid game in, you can bet her fans will flood social media with demands for more coverage. ESPN could post a highlight from any other player, and you know the drill, they'll swarm the comments, demanding to know Angel Reese hasn't been given her due. So why wasn't there a full breakdown of her game stats? Why wasn't there a post-game interview with Reese? That's why isn't Reese being treated like the superstar she is? The level of entitlement her fans feel is insane, and while it can be a little much, it does shed light on something bigger. It's not just about being overlooked once or twice, it's about a systemic pattern of ignoring talent just because the spotlight isn't on her. Here's where the situation starts to get really wild. Reese's fans are convinced there's a deep-rooted conspiracy to keep her out of the media's eye. They believe that ESPN in particular is deliberately ignoring her greatness. It's like every tweet, every highlight, and every mention of another player is somehow a personal slight against Reese. Some fans even act like ESPN wakes up every morning and says, "It's all right, who are we not posting today?" Angel Reese, perfect. So while the truth is probably much simpler, ESPN just doesn't have the bandwidth to cover a player equally. There are a lot of athletes, a lot of games, and yeah, sometimes things slip through the cracks. But for Reese's fans, that's just not good enough. They're not asking for simple recognition. they're demanding constant 24/7 coverage. Every dribble, every pass, every rebound should be acknowledged, and if it's not, they're ready to take the media to task. Now let's talk about Reese's impact on the court. No one can deny the woman can play. Angel Reese isn't just putting up solid numbers, she's dominating. She's grabbing rebounds, scoring points, and making plays that some of the best in the game would be proud of. She's not just a star, she's an absolute force to be reckoned with. But here's the fun part. Reese's personality is just as electric as her game. The woman knows how to put on a show, and she's not afraid to show it. When she's playing, she's not just there to play basketball, she's there to create drama. Take that one game, for example, where she put up 22 points and 21 rebounds. That stat line is insane, right? But you know what made it even better? The fact that she didn't just stop there. Oh no. She had to hit the opposing team's fans with a solid impression. That's right. After dominating the game, she flapped her arms like she was about to fly. And of course, ESPN didn't catch that moment. They missed it. How do you miss something so iconic, especially when a player is literally creating a viral moment on the court? Now, imagine what her fans must have felt when ESPN didn't pick up that gem. I mean, how could they ignore such a pure moment of entertainment? Reese isn't just dominating her opponents, she's giving the fans a show. And let's be real, if you're not watching an Angel Reese game and you're not feeling some type of way about it, are you even watching? Her on-court antics are as much a part of her game as her stats. The energy she brings is contagious. You're either going to love her or hate her, but one thing is for sure, you're not going to ignore her. But it's not just the game itself that makes Reese such a compelling figure. It's the way she interacts with her surroundings. We've seen her clash with her coach mid-game, screaming at him like she was ready to throw down. The audacity. But honestly, it just adds to her allure. Reese isn't here to play by anyone's rules. She's here to do her thing, and if that means yelling at her coach or making a wild gesture to the opposing fans, so be it. She's not built for calm. She's built for chaos. And that's exactly why people either love her or love to hate her. And here's where things start to get truly ironic. You've got Reese's fans out there fighting for her recognition, while on the other side, you have Caitlin Clark, another star who had to break records and sell out arenas just to get a little acknowledgement. Both players have had to deal with the media's lack of excitement about women's sports, but it's funny how the narrative shifts when the spotlight is finally on Reese. Suddenly, everyone's up in arms, demanding her recognition, while Caitlin Clark had to fight for every inch of the spotlight just last year. It's almost like there's a double standard when it comes to media coverage. Reese's fans may not want to hear it, but sometimes you have to ask yourself if the issue is really ESPN, or if it's just the unrealistic expectations being set for one player. Sure, Reese is incredible, and yes, she deserves recognition. But sometimes, when you constantly demand respect instead of letting your game speak for itself, it's a sign that maybe the issue lies elsewhere. And in typical Angel Reese fashion, she's not going to sit back and let anyone forget her. Whether it's on the court, on social media, or anywhere else, she's making sure that people remember who she is, and that's not something any network can ignore for long. So here we are watching Angel Reese play out this saga in front of us. Her game is undeniable, and her personality is even bigger than her on-court stats. But the question remains, can she keep performing at this level and let her game speak for itself, or will her fans continue to demand 24/7 coverage? Either way, Angel Reese is here to stay, and whether ESPN likes it or not, the world is going to be watching.